What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with game number 3, Divine Intervention. Kimo, tournament life, not in the line. He still has another life. If he loses this one, he's still in the tournament. He goes into the losers bracket. But he's getting Zeus in this game. Kimo and Zeus. I'm excited to see it because Kimo Zeus, it's a little bit off meta. It's a little bit off meta, but it's really strong. His opponent today, however, is no slouch, but he did build himself a second ox cart when his villages are literally directly next to a town center. Okay, guys, I'm going to go through the math again. I'm sorry to do it, but I feel like I got to get this thing in people's heads. If you can save an ox cart, you have to save it. Every villager you save the ox cart is worth around about 8 resources, roughly. It's worth 8 gather time of a villager. Every villager you get out. So if you don't build this ox cart, which was here, so we saw 2 villagers get built, and then a villager over here, and then an ox cart. So this villager here would have come out 8 seconds earlier. This villager would have come out 8 seconds earlier. So they both would have gotten 8 extra resources. And then the ox cart comes out. This villager would have gotten out 8 seconds earlier. This villager would have gotten out 8 seconds earlier. This Aurak could get dragged into the town, and you don't need the next ox cart out. And you're going to be able to end up with, in the end, around about, what is it? I can't think about the exact math of it. Maybe 11 villages, maybe like 88 resources more than if you were to build this ox cart early. There we go. That's the math. That's how it works. I hope you enjoy. Look at where this ox cart got to. You can drag it into the town center. See? That's where the math works, and that's why it matters. 80 resources, that's almost a Hearser. That's almost an extra Hearser. That's the big difference. Anyways, we'll see how the game's going to go. Kimo here, he's got to be a little bit unhappy about this gold mine. Back gold mine here, big map, separated with a big pillar in the middle. I don't think that Kimo is going to be wanting to go for the meta Athena rush here against Loki. I don't think he's going to be wanting to do it. Speaking of town centers, he's got some balls behind this town center, but the gold mines are a little bit exposed. I don't think a fast second town center is going to be all too good either. As the temple coming up on this position here for Kimo as well. I don't think a second town center, a fast second town center is going to be good, all too good for Kimo with it. So what else are the options? There is one option, which is a timing attack on the second gold mine, which we never see. And I think it's really, really good. The idea is you go for an early attack like normal with Zeus to hit the early hunt. You get yourself out your archer range, your military academy, and your base, and you go and hit the hunt. You push off the hunt, and then you bring your units back home. You sit in your base, you defend, and you go heroic age. You get yourself a pass beast, potentially Prodromus if your opponent's making anything other than Hearser, Prodromus for the raiding cavalry if they potentially make those. And then you underworld the gold mine. Restoration, live the dream. Flaming weapons comes in, run away, start booming, live the dream. We'll see how it goes. Villagers start moving forward onto this wood line, and we are seeing the 4 steady coming in. 7 villagers on food here for Shelty. As the villagers moving forward here for Kimo. Where is he going? Okay, he decides to move away from that one Aurak, instead favoring the mass boars over here. I like this position there. Athena. Also, they got a choice for Shelty. They got a choice relic over here for big relic over here actually for Kimo. The Grugner Odin Spear. Zeus getting this one's a big deal. Extra 5% hack damage might not seem like a big thing, but when you're trying to when you're soft countering the Hearser, it ends up being a huge deal because it means that the Hearser are dying that 5% faster. Is that right? Probably 5% faster, which is. It ends up being, meaning a lot of your hoplites end up surviving where they otherwise wouldn't, which means even more DPS. It like does these ones. So the wall's coming up over here, and we are seeing the Jason Moving on to this position. What is Kimo's plan here? I don't see any military buildings down just yet. There's the military buildings, military academy, double military academy here for Kimo. This has been something that I believe Eric BR actually kind of popularized. It's not like a new thing or anything. It's just something that he's like, yeah, why don't we just go double military academy against Loki? A lot of Zeus players are doing this in like team games and having a lot of success with it. But against Loki, why not? Loki players really enjoy going Herser, double Herser. So if you go for double hoplites, then that's a really big deal there. We are seeing hand axe coming through for Kimo though, which means less hoplites. But double hoplites here for Kimo as he's going to be putting some serious pressure on. We do see the Herser already moving through here. The army on the exact opposite side of where it really wants to be. It wants to be over here on these villages. Wants to be harassing those. And it's on the exact opposite side. Probably a little bit of poor scouting there from Kimo. He probably could have put the military buildings in his main base and be attacking over here much faster rather than on his hunt here. As we see an archery range now getting dropped down. As Herser popping out nicely here for Shelty. Little bolt there from Kimo onto one of those Herser. Makes a lot of sense. The Herser picking off this tower is a big deal. People don't realize that towers, they have the most favor, I believe, out of... Well, they have the same favor, excuse me, as every other building, but it's only got 550 HP. Same thing for houses. Well, not houses, actually. Houses have only got 2.16. But the favor for the watchtowers is 550. Sorry, 550 HP, but 4.32 favor. So you get a lot of favor out of that. So we are seeing Hall of Thanes coming in. The walls get broken down. The longhouse here that's getting Hall of Thanes in is getting taken out. I'm not a fan of rushing Hall of Thanes in this matchup. I think you should delay it. I think you should throw an Axeman out, and you should be playing around defending yourself first, getting Hall of Thanes at like 8 minutes rather than straight away, and that way you can defend these early fights. As the Herser getting pulled back, Hall of Thanes is in. The army going to start taking this fight here. Troll spawn coming in there as the Odysseus is going to be able to take that out. Not the best of spawns there, in all honesty, as Restoration does get dropped down there by Kimo nice and early. Generally, you want to save that for the second gold mine, but Kimo is seeing that he's going to be able to pressure this gold mine really heavily here. There's a hoplite getting caught out there. More units pumping up into this position. Do we see any archers coming out? Not yet queued for Kimo just yet. As the healing spring gets dropped down. Watchtower's coming out for Shelty. This is very standard Loki shenanigans. But he can't really leave his base just yet. And he does need to put out another longhouse because this one's not in the best position. As the hoplites starting to push through. Watchtower going to come through here as well. Troll starting to get some good damage done from afar, but that Odysseus is tanking the tower there. As the Herser, they're really out of position here for Shelty. I think he's made a pretty big misplay sending those Herser out for a raid here because now his tower's gone. He's down another 300 resources for that because these back towers aren't going to be worth anything for the time being in these fights. And he is in a lot of trouble as that Odysseus is getting some good damage as those Herser are running around, not really doing a whole lot up here. We do see the Herser getting some good fights over here, but the Herser are now going to be finding the villagers over here, getting a big raid onto Kimo, trading the home villages for the villages of the Greek player. Not a bad idea. As Kimo needs to figure out how to defend this. Does decide to turn around and start shanking this. Any sort of myth unit spawn here spells absolute disaster, though, for Kimo. If he can get that or not is the big question. There is probably a myth unit due here for Shelty, but he's got to micro this one nicely. There's more hoplites coming out to defend on that position there. As the dwarves get pulled away, the villagers over here on this food could move on to this gold mine, or he could send the gold villagers over there if he wants as well. As the Herser pulling away now, not able to get that myth unit spawn that he wanted. And Kimo at this point, lots and lots of units built here. We're taking down the houses, seeing what he can do here. As the houses are actually in a decent position. They are underneath town center fire, but sometimes you got to really hug your town center. As the Herser are going to be coming back, lots of idle units now need to be sitting in defense. So in a way here, Shelty can kind of catch Kimo's army out if he wants to take a fight, but I mean 14 hoplites versus 18 Herser, 19 Herser. Who wins that fight? Not really sure. So Villager's going to finish up on that Auroch over there. There's probably some more hunt up the other corner of the map. Not really. There's Aurochs back here, or Boars back there. So there's still more hunt for Kimo on the map here. As somehow, some way, Shelty has managed to get himself a decent amount of population here. He's not even behind on villager count. He's only down 1 villager, and that's because he's building dwarves. So, after all is said and done, Kimo's cleaned Shelty off this gold mine, but Shelty's already basically mined that gold mine out. So, in every metric here, Shelty's in a fantastic position. I thought this was going really, really well for Kimo, but Kimo hasn't really done any damage yet. We see an armory coming up. The village is finishing up this boar over here. There's still boars back over here. But the big problem, I think... Actually, is it a problem? I think it is. The big problem, I think, for Shelty is he doesn't have any throwing axemen out. And he can't fight. He needs to get food income. He needs to get himself to the heroic age and get a flaming weapon surround here. The question is, he's on a timer, and can he make it happen? He's still building Herser. Cut those Herser and go heroic age. Bring the villagers back to your main base. Call it a day. That's got to be the way to play. As Kimo sending his army up to this position, will he see those villagers here? Does see the red there, and that's a lot of villager kills going to come in. Shelty moving in with his Herser, though. Copper Mail coming in as well for Shelty. He's probably going to think that's going to help him out quite a bit, but it only a little bit, because the medium hoplites are in, plus that upgrade that relic is in as well. As the villagers going to come through, Valkyrie spawn here as well. As the Herser taking this fight on this position over here. Not a great fight for Shelty to take on that position there. Villagers coming through. Troll spawn here will help out quite a bit. As the villager's going to shank down that Odysseus over here, trying to take that one down. As the Valkyrie trying to dodge the arrows. Cannot dodge arrows of Odysseus there. You have to pull away from the Odysseus and get out of range of fire. As these trolls are going to do a ton of damage now. As the villagers are helping shank this one down. Exactly what Shelty needs to do. And Kimo here at this point does realize he needs to retreat back. The villagers don't die at all. In fact, Shelty is still basically equal on the villager count, going to move up onto this position, but Shelty is down to 70 population, and these trades here help out Kimo a bit, because it means that it's forcing Shelty to stay in the classical age, which he doesn't really want to be doing here. As the Anya spawns there for Shelty, that's going to be big. As you use that special onto those Toxotes. So much damage there onto every one of those Toxotes. It's about 12 damage a piece there on every one of those with just one special attack. That's huge. As the villagers onto this berry bush here, we see the longhouse coming up there as well. I do think Shelty's making a bit of a mistake here. Not eating these boars up here and not cutting Herser production. Because he can always retreat off of that gold mine and just go onto wood, truck a market down, sell wood, buy an army, flaming weapons, push out of his base. Troll spawns are really, really good because, well, once the heroes die, Odysseus kills the villagers, kills the trolls off really, really fast. As the villagers getting picked off on this position, Oxcart, I see that husbandry coming in as well. As the Herser pulling back, bit of an advantage now coming through for Kimo as the fighting ensues in the classical age. Like I said, you might win a fight or two, but it's not the best to continue fighting here as Loki. As the army swinging around the back, there is the Odysseus coming in and the Jason here. Do see a couple of throwing axemen. The Anya is going to be a big help if you can get that special attack off. He does get that one off there as the Ursa are going to get a huge amount of bonus damage in. Good micro there from Shelty pulling the troll away as we see Kimo finally there refocusing onto that Anya, trying to take it up. Good micro back here from Shelty as well. But there's just too much population here, it seems, for Kimo as he's able to take down the myth units nicely here. The Odysseus cleans up 2 trolls now as well as the Anya on the back. Or at least the troll lives with 8 HP there. As the army coming through for Shelty, we do see the Valkyrie spawn there for Shelty as well as the villagers pulling up. Still leaving these boars on this position. I'm not sure what Shelty's doing. It's got a lot of military buildings up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 military buildings there in total. But it looks like it's just not enough here at the moment. The hoplites pushing through. The hearse are going to come around. Can he get onto those Toxotes on the back there? The Kimo's just got such a good position. Kimo can actually get himself a town center now. He's got so much population. His Herso, though, a little bit out of position that does manage to snipe the troll before going on to the Valkyrie over here, as well as the Herso going to be pulling back. Shelty here is on the boars. He's on the berries up here. He's trying to sneak as much economy as he can. And Kimo is kind of allowing him to do this. Kimo should be moving up to that top corner there. Does Kimo know? He knows there's a gold mine there. He has to know that's where the gold is. I mean, there's a chance he's around here. And if Shelty wants, he could sneak the dwarves around into this gold mine now. But a second town center coming up for Kimo. Kind of recognizing exactly what he needs to do here. As now Shelty going to try and get some raiding cavalry out to try and deal with those Toxotes. If you can get up to 115 population here for Shelty, he can actually win these fights. This is kind of a known fact, is that if Norse gets 115 pop with raiding cavalry, throwing axemen, and gets the upgrades and everything, basically all things equal, you can beat the Greek army in the classical age, but it is quite difficult. Shelty needs to wait on this. Allow the army to get close to the dwarves. Use the dwarves in the fight. But copper weapons is coming through for Kimo here. As the army moving forward, will we see those dwarves diving in? Shelty is doing great to dive, dip, duck, dodge, dive this situation here. As now he pushes in, we do see Kimo retreating back. He can utilize this forest nicely here to kind of keep those Toxotes safe. But Kimo retreating back. Gold still coming through here for Shelty. Can Shelty sneak himself a town center here is another question. Because he needs that town center to compete at this point. He's going to be stuck in the classical age. There's kind of no doubt about that. As Kimo's kind of waiting out all of his reinforcements to come in here as well. Spy onto this army, just ducking in and out. Shelty wants to prevent that from retreating here. He's coming up onto this position. Can he get a good fight here is the big question. Only a handful of throwing axemen with all those hoplites. Eyes of the Forest coming in. Medium infantry as well for Shelty. Again, not that many units here for Shelty as he's still trying to just distract. How much food is left is the big question. One berry is left, plus this boar here with 93 food and this dead boar as well. As the fighting is ensuing, but Shelty still needs to just use his dwarves. The dwarves are huge tanks, 75 HP. As he pulls back, villagers coming over here to take the fight. He's got to use the villagers in this fight if he wants to stay alive. So raiding cavalry do manage to get onto the Toxotes on the back. The INR spawn there for Shelty is going to be a gigantic help as the dwarves coming in onto the boars here as well. Still mining the gold. He's got defender's advantage with the longhouses spawning the units. It looks like the army of Kimo is holding true though here as the INR does end up falling though. No more myth units at the moment here for Shelty as the hoplites. We see a Valkyrie spawn but still an Odysseus is in here going to be able to take that Valkyrie down incredibly fast here. The army of Kimo does look like it's falling but the population is still really good for Kimo in this one. He's still sitting at 100 population as a third town center comes down in the back. They're still going to be eating those boars there as well as the Odysseus pulls back. Hoplites falling on this position as well. As the Odysseus going to be retreating away. Hoplites, Toxotes on this position going to be pulling back as well here. And it looks like Shelty lives another day, but he's yet again in another similar position that he was in before. But Kimo is slowly but surely pushing his advantage here in this game. 63 villages to 37 villages. A decent amount of population for Kimo as well. He's got more population at this moment, but more villages does mean the military population is still very similar here, which does mean that Shelty can get some good trades. Her for Shelty are technically economy as well in a way because he gets favor and he gets myth unit spawns, but the troll spawn they're not going to be helping out in the slightest here. As he does turn around, realizing he needs to get onto those berry bushes as well. So trying to break in on and take out that Odysseus, but no myth unit spawns for the time being for Shelty, as the Toxotes are doing a great job taking everything out here. Ursa over here does end up getting taken down. Only a handful of Ursa remaining. Dionysus also clicked up there for Kimo to boot here, as Shelty looks like he is not able to survive here in this game. Odysseus goes down. Ursa goes down. Army going to be retreating back here for Kimo, as he's about to be able to have himself the bronze. But the other thing that's going to be happening here, as Shelty does tap out, is the second gold mine is exposed, meaning the third gold mine over here going to be very tough to grab. Really nice game here from Kimo. He bounces back in this one. I think Shelty didn't quite realize how heavy Kimo was going on the hoplites and how important it is to get those throw and axemen out to deal with those. You cannot go mass Hersa, or if you do go mass Hersa, you have to get heroic age and hit a really nice flaming weapons. But Shelty took the fight in the classical age and didn't work out for him, as Kimo played it really, really well. Manages to force the game 4 here. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.